to my Plan With Me video for the month of June 2019 in my Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly Planner. This is my budget planner, and I use this specifically for finances. Nothing else goes in here. No appointments, no holidays, absolutely nothing. This planner is a newer setup for me. I have only been using this since January of 2019. And budgeting in general is never my favorite thing to do. I don't like to sit down and tell myself I can't have Starbucks this month. So this is definitely a new concept for me. But since I've been doing this, I've noticed that our debt has significantly reduced, our savings has significantly grown. And so just by writing things down, I think it makes a huge difference. It holds you accountable to yourself. And so because of that, I am happily continuing on with my budget planner. In April, I did a very basic spread showing how you can get started in a Deluxe Monthly Planner with just some color coding highlighters or markers or whatever you have at home. I used my mild liner highlighters that I picked up at Target and a black pen. And I have all of the things that I'm going to use today in the description below, but you don't have to go crazy to start a budget planner. I like things to look pretty. I like things to coordinate. So my budget planner this month will be matching my hourly planner. So you can see I am using Kit 140F, which is the same one I used in my hourly monthly spread. And I'm using these new to me budget tracking stickers from Planner Kate. And this is one example. This is a debt tracker, and it's meant for the notes pages. So I wanted to kind of explain. When I set up my notes pages, I very simply draw in a grid here, and it will have the date, the amount, a confirmation number, and who I paid or what it was for. So if it's my cell phone bill or our electric bill, that all gets written in here. Down here, I'll write it really only takes about half a page for that. Then down at the bottom, I'll write any notes for things that might happen. For example, Verizon charged me twice last month. Total accident when I was trying to change my payment method. But because it got charged twice, I should have a zero balance this month. So I wrote that note down. And then on the next page, what I typically do is in my weekly check-ins, which I schedule in my hourly planner, I'll write the date that I do my check-in, and then I'll write anything that's happened since the previous week. So if we've had more debt paid off, if, like I said, the Verizon note came through, I'll write that in here so I know about what day that all happened so I can reference it back. And then anything else that might be going on. So for example, in the middle of May, I had paid all of our bills before the second paycheck came in. So I wrote that down so that I knew when the second paycheck came in, I could put more towards savings. So that all goes in there. And then it's a quick reference for me for the rest of the week. But I wanted to try doing these budget tracking stickers because there are still 2 note pages that I do nothing with at this point. I might write down some of my wins, like, hey, I went a whole week without Starbucks, or I went a whole week without ordering sodas or going out to lunch, or whatever it is that I might have a win on. But those don't take up a whole lot of space because I honestly don't check in enough with my budget planner to be writing them down every day. So usually they go up with my budget check-ins in that week. So I've ordered those stickers to go along with this planner. I'm going to go ahead and get my monthly spread set up first, and then I'll come back and do the budget stickers in the notes pages after. But again, that is separate and something new that I'm trying. The budget stickers for the month are not new. I did them last month. I absolutely loved how that was laid out. And again, like I mentioned, I paid all of my bills early because I was so excited to be able to check them off in their little pretty boxes. So it worked out really good. Something else I'm going to try this month as well is a friend of mine on Instagram recommended using a binder with some sheet protectors. So I've ordered some sheet protectors. They're not here yet. I'm going to start putting my bills in here with some tab liners there so that I know when they come in every month. And I'll probably keep them until the next bill arrives and just cycle them out depending on what the bill is for. But this way it's all organized, so I'll know when the next one comes in and I'm not missing it. I'm not sure how I'll like that. Again, this is something new to me. The whole planner system for budgeting is really new to me as well. But I like the idea of having a place for all my bills to go at once. Usually I just stuff them in the pocket in the back, or I throw them on my desk until the new bill comes in, and that has caused a little bit of clutter. So I really don't want that anymore. I'd like something a little more organized. I have 2 of the Erin Condren binders that I purchased on sale before they were discontinued, and I haven't used them yet. So I think that's a great use for them. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, get this all set up, get the debt tracker, all the transaction logs, all of that set up in here as well. And then once I'm done, I'll come back and explain how I have it set up and how I plan to use it for this month. So here is June all set up in my budget planner. As you can see, I've got the big header boxes up here with the days of the week. I have the thick watermelon washi laid down over the grayed out days from the end of May. I have the circle date dots, which I just love this little detail in my planner. I just think that's so much fun. I have my paydays marked off, and then I set up, instead of using the monthly sidebar, which was giving me some trouble this time, total user error, I ended up using these quarter boxes here and writing bills to pay and savings and then putting a checklist for each one. After I did that, I've written down literally every bill and every savings that we have. As my bills arrive in the mail, I will check them off here. I will put the amounts on the bill pay boxes and I will stick them on the day that they are due. So you can see my rent is always due on the 1st. That's where that box is. My cell phone always comes in for the 7th, so I've put that in already. My savings accounts are auto draft, so they are already in here as well. And so as my other bills come in, they fluctuate on their date a little bit. I will go ahead and grab the sticker, which I've already written on, and put it on the planner for that day. I'll check off here once it's in my hand so that I know that I've got it. And then I go through here and I'll check these boxes once the payment has cleared the bank. So if I pay my rent on Saturday morning, or probably knowing me, I'll probably pay it Friday night, I will go in on Saturday. If it's cleared my bank account, I'll check it. If it hasn't, I'll come back and check on Monday and then check it then. So that is the only time these boxes get checked. If it gets to the 4th or the 5th and I notice that it hasn't been checked yet, that's when I go in and I call my bank, hey, it was supposed to pay here, what's going on? So this is my way of knowing it has not cleared yet. Then what I do is I write down the transactions of paying the bill. So this month I've decided to buy the budget add-ons from Planner Kate as well. I've never purchased those before, so this is very new for me. But what I like here is that I can put this transaction log, which I'm going to be using to monitor my actual bill payments. And I've got, this is what I do anyways, but I just like it's a little prettier. I'll have the date, the description, the amount, and instead of balance, I'm going to put the confirmation number. So for example, on the 6th of June, my cell phone bill for whatever the amount is and the confirmation number from the bank will go right next to it. The date that I'll write here is the date that I actually have the payment scheduled for. So if I go in on May 28th and schedule it on that date, that's when I'll write it down. Even if it's going to come out of my bank account on the day it's due, I want to know the date that I went in, because if there's a problem with my bank, they're going to ask me, well, what day did you schedule it on? Well, I went in on this day, I scheduled it, here's my confirmation number, why is it not gone? I've never really had that problem before, but it's always good to keep that record. So this will be my bill pay confirmation number record. Then the June budget is going to be exactly what it sounds like: income, expenses, and savings. The only difference that I'm probably doing from most people is that I am not tracking every single category and dollar that comes in or goes out in our family. So I guess income I will be, but for the most part, the expenses here are my typical bills and what I'm estimating that they're going to cost. I've added music lessons here because we actually have quite a few things that we pay for music lesson wise, so I want to make sure I've got that set aside. And I might add 1 or 2 categories that I'm feeling I might be overspending in, or I can save or cut back, just to track and see, am I really overspending? Is it just, something in my head? What's going on? Let's see how it is. So for example, I might add Starbucks here. I always feel like I'm overspending at Starbucks, and sometimes I'll go back over the month and look at it and say, not really, you've only bought like a latte a week, you're fine. And other months I'll be like, oh man, you bought like 5 lattes a week for 2 weeks in a row, probably need to dial back, right? So I might track something like that if I'm feeling particularly worried about my spending there. And then again, I'll record actuals and finals at the very end of the month. I've added a debt tracker as well. We only have a small amount of credit card debt. We've already paid off our cars, and because we're active duty and we move so much, we actually rent, we don't own. So there's very little here in the way of tracking, which is why my totals box is way up here, and this is just all blank. But I really wanted to kind of be a little bit more mindful of that. And I also I'll do multiple credit card payments a month as I see I have additional funds in my account. So I'll pay my main payment every month, and then if I'm looking on the 17th or 18th and I say, hey, you know what, we're doing really well this month, we're staying way under budget, I'm going to add an extra payment to my account. So I've left enough space to record those extra payments as well. And then my spending tracker here is actually going to work very similarly to the budget spread. So you can see here, like I said, I added music lessons, and I might add a category that I'm concerned about. I'm only planning on tracking 1 or 2 categories here. I'm not going to track everything. So if I want to track something like my Starbucks consumption for the month, I would write the date. What did I buy? Did I get myself something for me and the kids? Did I get lunch here, or was it just a coffee? I'll write Starbucks, and then I'll write the amount. And if I want to track 2 or 3 things, I might add Target spending, which I've been really good at not spending a ton at Target recently. But if I start to have a month where I'm like, I've been there a lot, I've been walking through the store and just walking out every time with something, I can really say, you know what, I'm going to write down the dates, I'm going to write down what I purchased, I'm going to write Target instead of Starbucks, or maybe both. Our Target has a Starbucks. And then I'll write the amount. So that way I can really focus in on the spending in categories that I think I can cut back on. So it just gives me a better picture. But I don't think I have enough room, first off, for every transaction for the month in this one page. It's just not going to happen. And I also don't feel the need to track certain spending. For example, I don't need to track how much gas we spend for our cars. And the reason I don't track that is I generally know how much we're going to spend every month. It's not going to change. We still need that gas for commuting. And we always keep a reserve amount in our checking account so that it's not that big of a deal if we end up getting an extra tank this month. That's the kind of stuff that I don't feel the need to track. I also don't need to put my bills here. I've already got them written down here and here and here. So those kinds of things don't need to go in here. So this for me is going to be more of a spending tracker for specific categories that I want to work on cutting back or just get a better idea of the overall picture. So that is my June monthly budget planner. And again, all of these pages here, with the exception of the transaction log and my confirmation number changes to that, all of these pages here are brand new. They're not how I typically track my budget, but I'm really excited to try something new, something different, and something a little bit more in depth. Not a huge change, but just a little bit more of the picture here than I did the month before. Again, I've only been using a budget planner since January. I really love the idea of coming back and revisiting everything that I've done every month and every week. And this particular kit, this Tutti Frutti one, is absolutely perfect for June, the beginning of the summer, and I love the watermelon and all the other tropical fruits in here. And you'll actually see, if you want to subscribe and turn on those notifications by clicking the bell, you'll actually see that I'm using the same setup in my hourly monthly spread and in the weekly spread for both my hourly and vertical for the first week of June. I always love when my first week coordinates with the monthly spreads, and I just love the Tutti Frutti kit so much that I wanted it in everything this month. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more videos, including the new Tutti Frutti ones coming up soon, please hit subscribe and click that bell for notifications. And if you want to see behind the scenes and sneak peeks, head on over to my Instagram, @LauraPlansIt. Thanks so much for watching.